Good to see you. Okay. All right, so you guys want to grab a seat too, or? All right. Well, Mayor, thank you. Mayor reached out about looking in the barber shops and the salons. We just so you know, we have been working with my task force on figuring out what type of safety would be necessary. So they have been talking with folks, working on talking with some medical, working on guidance. But obviously, we wanted to solicit feedback from people who do this about what would you be thinking, how do you do it in a way that reduces, that makes the risk small. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing things that are safe and the risk is small, you have a right to apply your craft. And so we want to get to yes. We want to be judicious and methodical and be safe about it. But I think that we have an opportunity to do it. Can we just go around, maybe just say a few things? I'll kick it off, pass it over to the mayor, and then we just engage in a discussion about what we're going to do. Go ahead.
Role Health Officer for the county.
You guys have done a great job. I want to thank you for all your hard work. You look at Orange County, both of you, you look at Orange County's, how they've weathered this. I don't think anyone would have predicted what has happened. I mean, it's just been really good. But you guys at the health department have done great, so thank you.
Yeah, well, we're not expecting it, but yeah, it has gone very well. So it has been gratifying to see that your plan is measured, has different steps, and you also have the ability to consume the data and see how it's reported. It is, we had some concerns at the beginning before everyone developed any plans, because part of this pandemic is what we're trying to explain to people. It's not these words of better or anything, it's the speed at which it can speak. And we have to avoid overwhelming the healthcare system, which has not happened, fortunately for us. So we are extremely happy to see a plan that have different steps. We have engaged in conversations with many of the members of the task force and the industry. They will tell you that they are willing to take extraordinary steps to reduce that transmission that you're talking about.
Great. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Mike Vanderbilt, Mosaic Hair Studio. I'm one of the task force members. I do appreciate you taking the time away from the family and we want to come out here and listen to a discussion from the industry. A couple of points I'd like to make. We are all trained, licensed to train. State of Florida certifies us to training. I think if you just look around this salon, and these are all protocol steps that are normal on a regular daily basis for licensed stylists. So I know that during the grand opening, we'll all be taking measured steps, calculated steps to reopen. In fact, I've created a video for our staff. If you'd like to see it, I'd be more than happy to share it with you. It's really about hand washing. We've purchased a sink in front of our salon. We're asking all clients before they enter to come in. We're doing social distancing scheduling, which I believe all salons are currently doing now. So that means no double booking. So one client at a time, no one in between while someone's color is processing. We've removed any items that can be touched. We're asking no one to touch the products. We've removed the candy jars. We've upgraded the sanitation practices, our tools implementation, the cleaning of the stations. I really feel that between the guidance that we've received from Dr. Rawls and between the mask, hand washing, really focusing on being brilliant at the basics, I think our industry is definitely ready to open up.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, first welcome to our salon.
Sure.
My husband and I own the
It's
salon.
very clean. I mean, it's as much cleaner than being in most people's homes. So you do a good job.
So welcome to our salon. We've been here for 2 years, and we take a lot of pride in our salon and our staff and our clients. We've taken every measure, even before this happened, to ensure that everyone's safe. But after the fact, just to piggyback off of what he said, we have hand sanitizer by the dozens, and here we have a manufacturer here in Orlando that supplies it to us, so it's always readily available. We've even gone a step further to order disposable capes, so it's never touching again. We have a mask in the front just in case someone doesn't bring one in. We've supplied masks to all of our stylists. Our biggest thing is we don't want to just keep ourselves safe. I don't want to just keep the staff safe and their families. We love our clients. Those are like an extended portion of our family, so we want to keep them safe. Like you said, we follow sanitization guidelines in order to get your license. So in order to keep it, you want to be able to not get a lawsuit and all this other stuff. You want to make sure that you do exactly what you're supposed to do. So we have our styles in here coming in on a scattered schedule. So not just a full salon, because all of our stations are taken up. We have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, one client at a time. And once that client is done, they have to sanitize. We have sanitization at the shampoo bowls. We've even gone a step further. We got contactless soap for their hands, the dryers, even though that's not what we normally do. We want to make sure everyone is safe. We're professional enough to protect ourselves and our clients. We just want the opportunity. We're not getting the help that we need because it's so exacerbated already. We just want the opportunity to help ourselves. And we've been doing this our whole entire career. We just want to be able to continue to do it.
Okay, well, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it. Hi.
Hi, my name is Mary Jo. I'm the CEO of the MC Spa, and I've been in the Orange County for over 27 years, opened the business here. What happened right now is bring it up to very important for all the licensed who are professional in the what we already been doing professional and get the license, but in the other side, I already tried to put all together with the guideline for even the customer, from the employer. We have two guidelines for what the product that we got, what is the tool, the clean up all the store, and I have everything. I put in the guideline. I will give to you later. It's a little bit about, so you have an idea what is the nail salon, make the customer or make their employee or even their community safe. So I put everything in here, and I will get a chance to show you a little bit later what we going to do. When the customer walk into the door, what are you going to do? How do you guide them? How do you talk to them? Walk into, how do you serve it them? Before serve it, during serve it, after the service, and with everybody have their different thing to do. The owner, the manager, the receptionist, the worker, technician. For all, everybody have to be a team and well trained before we open. So as soon as if you like all the open, so we have at least for a couple of days retrain and make sure that everybody know exactly what they do and follow what the doctor or the CBD or the doctor or from the state. So
Great. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to reviewing that. Yes, sir.
Thanks
Welcome.
for having me.
Yeah.
My name is Jay Henry. I own a barber shop here in downtown Orlando. I'm a native of Orlando. Thank you, Mayor, for giving me the opportunity to be on the Economic Task Force along with my other friends. The doctors are here. And I think that we all are somewhat speaking the same language and having the same kind of concerns. I would first like to start off with the fact that I've been in the business for over 36 long years. We all in this profession have been trained from day one that we got to be clean and make sure we take care of ourselves, our family, our coworkers, and our clients. One thing that I really, really enjoy about being in this profession, it has to be a gift that was birthed into you before you get into this profession to bring you into the profession, first of all. And once you learn to be clean, safe, and continue to keep your environment safe, that's very, very important. Having said that, most barbers and stylists and nail techs, this is second nature to us, along with all the other type of advice that we're getting from the professionals. It helps enhance the things that we've already done. You know as well that inspectors come in the barbershop and hair salons all the time. We used to this kind of stuff. So having said that, we want to continue to govern ourselves accordingly, do the right thing, get back to work, but get back to work safe. Having said that as well, we want to make sure that, and I can speak for all barbershops and hair salons, getting the professional support or the finances, if you will, that we need. That'll be another conversation later, but we need that so we won't compromise the principles and guidelines that are put in place. Because right now, we're all dealing with this financial setback, if you will, in this profession. So having said that, once you all, as the governor, help empower the business owners in this profession with the support that they need from the government, financial support, with the loans and grants and all these different types of things, it'll kind of help us keep things balanced, because once we get back to work, we're going to need the money to stay in business, because we're in the red, but it'll keep us from forcing people to come in the barbershop, so we have a large overcapacity. So I'm sure you kind of somewhat get my point.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, Governor, let me just welcome you here to Orange County, to the greater Orlando area. You heard from many of our business owners here. I've known Nadine for quite a number of years, and John Henry, we went to high school together, although I was a couple of years ahead of John Henry, but I know
Which
them
school?
to be Jones High School here in
Jones.
Orlando. Jones High School, the Tigers. And let me just say that after listening to some of the impassioned pleas from the ownership group here as part of our Economic Recovery Task Force, they convinced me that they were able to open with the right sanitary measures in place, and you've heard them talk about that repeatedly here today. So I do believe that as we balance the reopening with the need for safety in our community, this is one of those areas that I believe they can do it. I have no concern about whether they can do it safely or not. And so I know that's important to you, is that as we reopen Florida, the businesses have to have a number of safety measures in place. And so they have shared with me a number of things that would allow them to do it. So thank you for coming. Thank you for hearing us out. Here within the region, we have tried to take a regional approach as we reopen. So I'm one of the few elected countywide mayors in Florida, but I have reached out to the county chairs in the surrounding counties, and we were pretty much in agreement about how we move forward with the reopening. And the Economic Recovery Task Force that we have in place has a regional outlook, and they consistently have said that they believe that this is the right balance here as we move forward. I'm guided by the physicians that you see here. Dr. Pino is the state health officer here at Orange County, a phenomenal individual. He has just been wonderful to work with as we have dealt with the pandemic. And Dr. Rawls, I've worked with, he is a senior official with Orlando Health, and you're very familiar with them. He's formerly the Director of Public Safety for the county itself, and he understands the county government as well. And so with that, they are my principal advisors, and everything that they've said to me is that they felt like there's a way for this to be able to move forward and to do so safely. So again, thank you for being here.
So you, as we look at this, I mean, when we approached our task force for the next steps for Florida, my instructions to them is, as we look at the economy, this idea of essential versus non-essential is what had been done by, I don't know if that's public health over the years. So that was kind of the framework we were looking in. And as we were going down that road, it became clear to me that that was simply inadequate, because if this is your business, it sure as heck is essential to you. And if you have a job in one of these industries that some government official says is non-essential, I'm pretty sure you think that's essential too. So what we said is, I'm not going to sit there and say this is important and that's not. What we want to do is, if you have something like these personal services, what's the risk level? And is there a way we can lower the risk level? And if you make things that are low risk, people have a right to ply their trade and make a living. And that's the approach we've taken. Now, they have gotten into this on my task force, had started to do. We weren't quite ready when we did the original announcement, but this is something that we're interested in. So can you just talk about, from a medical perspective, are there things that they can do to make this, someone coming in and getting their hair done, to be low risk?
Sure, thanks, Governor. Absolutely, I think this is a good example of a well-regulated industry. These are professionals that are used to really high sanitary practice expectations. I think there's great physical space opportunities here. As you can see, a place like this, you'd have 6 feet between each chair pretty much automatically. And you also have a lot of awareness about client movement. They know how to schedule. They know what type of adjustments to make there. There are going to be some things that I think are certainly going to be different, like masking. And this could be, we talked about mandatory masking versus, expecting people to do that. This might be an environment where you say our clients need to be masked, and they might know that, need to know that when they schedule. If you come in for a session, you'll need to wear a mask. This is also maybe an environment we have some additional cleaning and sanitation expectations. We're hearing from Nadine that was already part of the plan. So again, I think a group of business owners that we should expect is going to do the right things, because I think for the most part that's happening every day already. And I just want to add one other thing, Governor, is I think as you and the mayor are making these difficult policy decisions, I think it's important to point out to the patrons of these businesses, they have an expectation too. As community members, we have to be responsible. We should not come to a salon if we're sick. Stay home. If you're asked to wash your hands, wash your hands. If you're asked to wear a mask, understand why they're doing that. They're asking you to help protect them so that they can protect this economy and this community. So I absolutely think we can do this safely, and we absolutely agree with the mayor on that.
Great. Now, you probably have some clients that are chomping at the bit to get in here, right, I'd imagine? Yeah? Yeah.
The pressure's high.
So I think you guys have talked about some stuff. So do you all agree that having the stylist wear facial covering would be fine, and that would be smart, and then you'd also provide that for the client that comes in? I mean, many of them probably already have masks, but if they don't, you think providing that option would make sense?
Totally, that's a very common sense approach. Like I've seen several businesses that are still open where they require you to wear a mask going in. This would be no different walking in wearing a mask. So I feel that's very reasonable and doable. And I know plenty of clients have been sewing masks. They're available on their masks are definitely cloth masks are definitely available to the general public. That don't have to be the big full N90, whatever the high-tech ones are. So clients are wanting to wear masks coming in. Prior to the shutdown, we had already taken lots of precautions and lots of steps as we were kind of gearing up. And clients thanked us. I'm sure you all had clients that thanked you for already stepping up the sanitation levels. In this industry, there's one thing that will really ruin you quickly, and that's online reviews. We all know the power of nobody in this industry wants a terrible Google Yelp review about inferior sanitation right now. I can guarantee you everyone is doing everything and then some to make sure that when the clients do return, that we'll all be really ready to go.
Do we, because obviously salons are open January, February, most of March, and maybe Dr. Pino, but is there any evidence that there was actually an outbreak that ever emanated from a salon in Central Florida that we know?
Not in Orange County.
I would like to add
Yep.
that for us, wearing a mask is not optional.
Okay.
That is our normal, our new normal.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is that the old normal, we have to put that aside, and we have to be able to guide our clients to be able to say, this is what's the requirement in this establishment. It's not a choice, because we have other people to protect, not just you. And so the fact of the matter is because these are our babies. It's important to have these things in place anyway. And we have to make sure they do it, because we don't want it to happen again. Our families depend on us. And when you said this is essential, it is essential. And we have essential workers going to work, not looking so essential. They're not looking their best, and that's what we provide. And truthfully, hair salons and barbershops, those are the main arteries of a lot of our communities. And once you cut that, we could bleed out financially, and that's not okay for us. And we don't want to go to someone's home and say, okay, I'll just do you off the grid. I don't want to do that, because that's not the proper example. But what do we do when we're faced between that and feeding our children?
I get it, and not only that, but I mean, I don't know if you notice, like there'll be people that are like talking heads on TV that'll say, you can't open everything up, and yet they've been doing this for 6 weeks and their hair always looks good. How does that magically happen? So you can't open your shop, but they somehow always have good hair. I mean, I haven't had a haircut in 2 months. Not that that's the important thing, but I mean, I'm coming on like a mullet almost with how much my hair's grown. So like, but somehow people do that. So yeah, no, it's crazy. So in terms of like, obviously, when you come here, people, it's a time to kind of socialize. People see it's a fun time. Barbershops. So how are you going to be able to manage that? Are you going to just limit the entry? Because I imagine normally you'd have some people just kind of hanging out and having fun. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to reduce density, are you going to do Like at the barber shop, just appointments? Are you going to have people wait outside if they're waiting? How have you thought about that?
Well, see, the plan is, I thought about it just like the driver's license office. I have a sign-in list, have a person sign in with their cell phone. Once they come to the barber shop, if they're sitting out in their car, we can text them or call them and say, hey, it's your time. They can come on in the barber shop and get their hair cut and keep it moving. Because one thing we want to keep in mind, saving lives is more important to me and all of us than making money. Of course, we need to make money, but we got to be able to live and be healthy in order to make the money.
Sure.
To continue to take care of ourselves and our families and one another. Having said that, all of us collectively know as hairstylists, most of the people, the clientele that come into the barbershops and hair salons, they basically already know the standards of that particular salon, of that particular barbershop. That's one of the major reasons why they go to that barbershop. Like in my barbershop, and I'm getting a plug right now, I don't allow profanity in my barbershop. Please cover your underwear when you walk through the door. These different types of things that we in this profession have always had in place long before the coronavirus came into effect. That's what kept us in business, those little small things that meant so much to other people. So we thrive on continuing to do the things that we've always done along with the new changes that are taking place. So it's normal and natural for us as stylists and barbers.
Can we have everyone speak up? We're having a hard time, but back up here.
To address your concern, Governor, about kind of congregating an entourage, which every salon, regardless of community, has. We've all asked our clients, please, one person at a time, leave your entourage at home. And we're doing exactly like J. Henry's Barbershop. Now, we work mainly off of appointments, so it might be a recommendation that salons that tend to be more on the walk-in side maybe use an appointment system so people don't congregate at the front. And we've asked clients, when you do arrive for your appointment, please stay in your car, call us, and when we're ready for you, we will call you, and then you can come on in. So we're really client or crowd management is what we're doing through our scheduling book. The way she's doing it by having different shifts and whatnot limits the number of people that come in at any one time, and by scheduling and using appointment systems, we can definitely do that.
One of the things we've noticed, I think the data has been overwhelming really from the beginning of this, is different age groups are at different risk from this. So if you look in Florida, I think we're between 80 and 85% of the deaths have been 65 and up. And even as you get into 75 and up, the rate goes higher. So is there a need to do anything special for seniors, or do you think the same procedures would just work across the board? And I'm not saying you would need to do anything special, because I think what you're doing seems like it would be safe, but it's just something we probably need to think about.
I definitely think that is something that's imperative. So even though we're normally closed Sunday and Mondays, those will be the days to be able to say, listen, these are the days we're going to cater to only you. Because they're important. Those are our grandmothers, our parents, our great-grandmothers. Those are people that I love. And so it's important to take care of them. I was raised to take care of my elderly, and so that's just what it is. It's going to be a sacrifice for everyone. So it's like he said, it's not just about the money. We care about our clients and anyone that's underneath our roof. And so the standard is Sunday and Monday, that's your day. Come in here and get taken care of, because you want to be beautiful too. You want to get your hair cut too. Our clients are, my phone is ringing off the hook. And it's my elderly client. When can I come in for my roller set? And so you want to be able to do it. You just have to be able, just like any other store is taking care of them. We don't want them to be ran over. We want them to be taken care of.
So, Nadine, let me ask you this.
Sure.
What age would you start the seniors at? Is that like 60?
That day seems like it would be anyone that is, first of all, pre-existing conditions would be those people that we would assume along with the people that are elderly.
Sure.
So if someone is younger and they may have gray hair like myself, you know, they can come in as well. Right. But I'm assuming that anything that collects AARP 65.
But I think that's smart what you're thinking about doing, because, I mean, just the bottom line is, you have somebody, you know, I'm 41 like me, if I were to get it in a barber shop, it's not, the risk for me is low, but then it would be, I may not even know I have it, and then if I pass it along to someone in one of the at-risk groups, and obviously we're taking the social distance, but just generally speaking, if you have somebody in that, when you have somebody who's in the at-risk group, then obviously if they were to get it themselves, we're not as, it's not like they're going to transmit it as the big fear. It's what will happen to them. So I think that's a great idea, and that may be some type of best practice that we could think about going. You were going to say?
That's exactly. A lot of these issues that you're bringing up can be addressed literally by proper scheduling. And I know a lot of salons. We are obsessive about our book, our scheduling, because nobody wants to feel the pressure of having a. So salons are used to client management and scheduling, and in this case, we're dealing with the at-risk. We know who our clients are. We know who the elderly are, who are at-risk clients. We've had a relationship with them. We know their life history. We know their drama. The reason they're 6 feet is not for social distancing. It's so the other person doesn't hear the drama that's going on, right? So salons have already policies in place to account for anyone who is at high risk. And of course, we love our clients, and we would do anything like opening up on days off to accommodate them.
Great. So is there anything else we're missing, or what else do you think we need? Because I think what we'd like to do is, obviously this has been helpful. We'll take your recommendations. I've had folks working on this as well. We'll talk with the mayor about any other folks that he's had that's been helpful, and try to get a set of best practices, and maybe we'll run it through the cosmetology board or the barber board, and if it vets and it's safe, then I think we have a responsibility to get the yes on this stuff. And at the end of the day, we need to go ahead safe. I mean, our mantra is safe, smart, step by step, be very methodical, data driven, but having healthy small businesses is important to be able to fight any health problems, because if the society's not functioning, our ability to deal with this is not going to be as strong. You also have all kind of other health. I mean, this virus is not the only health issue that we deal with as our society. I mean, we have mental health. We have other things. We have fear that's permeated our society, such that people have significant heart pains, stroke symptoms. They're not even going into the hospitals now because they're scared they're going to get the virus and die, when the heart is much more of a risk for them. So I think it's obviously we want you guys to be able to be solvent and be successful again. But then I just think also just having things like this, I think confidence, people see, oh yeah, you're able to go in and get your hair cut again. It's a step towards a more healthy society. So I think it's important that we deal with this. I think we're going to deal with it in a way that's safe, of course, but I think we've got to. We are very creative people in Florida. Don't tell me we can't figure out a way to do things safely. And I know you all are committed to that. Yes, sir.
I just want to continue to add this because I've got a lot of questions about this. And it sounds like a broken record coming from me, but I got to talk about it because it's on my mind and a lot of people's mind that I know. Small business owners that apply for the PPP loans and grants and stuff, none of us have heard anything. Okay. Anything. And I think it's very, very important that we don't overlook this. Going back to work is great because that's what we've always done, all of our careers. But trying to hold things together, how, when, where, who to talk to about getting connected to the small business owners that do not know how much longer that their business will hold on, even if we start working today. If you lift the ban today, hey guys, you guys can go back to work today. Yeah, but I know the silent echo of what am I going to do with all these bills that are piled up since I've been out of work. So I want to continue to press on that because I know it's for a good cause and a great purpose for all of us, that we need to get connected to these loans and these funds that are available, that the people in this profession, and not only in my profession, all over the country and in this state as well, that you're the governor of. We've got to get connected to these loans and these grants so we can kind of empower these businesses to stay alive. Having said that, us business owners, if we know that we've gotten connected to some funds that are on the way, it's easy to stay connected to one client at a time, one appointment at a time, because I got something to hold me together until this curve flatten a lot more, and we can keep clients out of the barbershop or out of the hair salons trying to make
you
the money
applied
back.
for PPP?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so PPP, I think you guys, but it's a federal program. So I've been working. Senator Rubio was really instrumental of it. I've been working with him on it. I think the goal of it was you're basically stopping the economy, at least portions of the economy. And so what are you going to do? And so the idea is to provide a loan, but it's a forgivable loan, particularly for small business, which you saw a lot of the bigger companies were getting the money.
That's what we talked
So they ran out of money. Some of the big companies are giving it back. They replenished it. There's still been some issues with it. But what I think I may do is maybe have him do something for Floridians, like try to put out some more information. Maybe we'll do an event to do it because what we did at the state level was we knew PPP was coming. The Congress was talking about it, but we did a $50 million bridge loan program. Now, under the law, I can't just forgive that, but it's an extremely low interest loan, very flexible. And that, people took that. I mean, we ran out of money on that, and so we're going to see after PPP is exhausted, we need to do something at the state level. I mean, I want to do it. You need the PPP. You're the exact person that this was supposed to be for. And so we're gonna work with the federal government. I mean, I fortunately am able. I know all the folks in the administration, Secretary Mnuchin, all these folks. They want to get it right. This was not an easy thing to put together just overnight, because you go back February, no one thought that we were going to be doing this when you got towards the end of March. So it got done, and so we are where we are in it. But yeah, I think the small businesses are really the ones that need it. I mean, the good thing is you don't even need as much money. I mean, the big companies, they're taking out tens of millions of dollars. Just a small amount of money will go huge. It'll help a business stay solvent, help the employees, and all that stuff. So I think it's really important. So I'm gonna work with. I've talked with Rubio a lot, and this is how passion is. So we need to make sure everyone's got the information, and there's definitely some administrative issues with it, because it's such a big amount of money, but I think we got to get there. And then once we figure out, okay, who definitely qualifies or doesn't, or the money run out, then at the state level, we can then look at some of ours. Now, we don't have the ability to charge us on the credit card like the federal government, so we'd have to prioritize. But I do think it's important as we get the economic base back. The small businesses are the engine. I mean, we've had the big companies have been running the whole time, most of them. I mean, a lot of the healthcare companies, obviously, health insurance, utilities, all this stuff. They're all considered essential. Defense, the space stuff on the Space Coast, all of it. And that's important, and there's a lot of good jobs there. But if you look, most of the jobs are connected to smaller businesses. And so we've absolutely got to keep them going.
Thank you.
And Governor, I wanted to share something that we're doing here within Orange County. As we have listened to some of the small businesses that have been given the green light to reopen, and if you make the decision that the hair salons, et cetera, will reopen, we wanted to make certain that we have the ability to provide them with all of the different sanitary pieces that they need to be able to reopen. So we are the recipients here within Orange County of about $243 million in CARES Act funds to do a number of things.
Great.
But one of the things that we have done is Orange County has purchased about 1 million masks and then about 200,000 pieces of hand sanitizer that we will hope to receive shipment this week coming up. And we will, for those businesses who have not been able to access the supply chain for those types of pieces of protective equipment, we're going to provide that to them so that they can open in a safe manner. So I just wanted you to understand that we're trying to look at this holistically to get our small businesses back up and running to the extent we can, and stay on the good side of Dr. Pino and the Department of Health as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that you guys are getting those funds. I know we have a handful of counties in Florida that qualified. The way they did the criteria, only one city in Florida qualifies, Jacksonville, because you had to be over a certain amount. So you have Dade County, Brown, which I think will be helpful. And then we have some CARES Act money too, which can be used, and we're looking at ways you can use it for some of the economic assistance to businesses. So we may be able to, there may be some room to do some of that stuff. Because we have not seen hospitals overrun or any of that, we're just in point of fact not going to have to use that money for as much help as I think people initially thought. We set up, I mean, we had field hospitals ready in all kinds of places. Miami Beach Convention Center, the Army Corps called me, like, hey, do you need anything? I'm like, I don't think so, but you know, what do you do? He's like, well, I'll build you a field hospital. I'm like, all right, let's go to Miami. So they built it there. No one's using it. I mean, it's like Miami, I think, had 45% of its ICU beds were not being used. So in terms of that flattened curve, don't let the hospitals overwhelmed, you know, I think we're in a pretty good spot there. So some of this stuff really can be used. Okay, the virus has dislocated a lot of parts of the economy. You know, let's figure out if there's ways that we can get it back. But I think at the end of the day, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when with the salons. We just want to be very judicious. We always want to consult with medical folks and want to make sure that safety's first. But as I was thinking about it, no one's going to care more about safety than the people that own these places. I mean, it's just you have to do it. It's very important for you. It's in your interest to do it. And I'm confident that that a lot of you guys are going to do the right thing. So we're going to get there. We'll take your recommendations. We'll take what we did today, and I'll have some of my task force folks work on it. But we've got to get there. So you have my commitment to work to get there.
Appreciate it.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Very good, very
I
good.
get it.
We're gonna set up the podium and then get the press conference.
Okay, good.